Today we're somewhere where they trained for lunar landings on the moon, where they discovered Pluto, the highest point on Route 66 in a city, surrounded by volcanoes.
Any guesses where we are? Flagstaff, Arizona.
Today we're going to show you all those things and more. Welcome to Cinder Lake Crater Field, and believe it or not, in 1967 they blasted craters here with explosives to simulate the lunar environment so astronauts could come train here. We are in the Cinder Lakes OHV area east of Flagstaff. Crater Field 1, south of the landfill, was developed first, and they blasted 47 craters there.
Wow.
And then an additional 96 for 143 total.
Crater Field number 1 was designed to duplicate a section of the moon in the Sea of Tranquility to train astronauts for future Apollo missions. The craters in this area range in diameter from 5 to 40 feet. This area is fenced off and the craters are more well preserved here. A simulated lunar module was installed and astronauts tested lunar vehicles such as Grover the Geologic Rover.
So Crater Field number 2 is right here in the OHV area, so it's not as well preserved because all the off-road vehicles can drive through it, which I'm sure is an absolute blast.
Right, there are paths just all over the place, tire marks. I mean, you can tell they probably drive into and around and through all of this.
Yeah, it seems like every single one of the craters out here has these little circles carved in the bottom of them, where I'm sure dirt bikes go around in circles and have all sorts of great fun.
But you can still see the craters. In fact, standing here, looking out, you see these dark spots. So yeah. I've got this one here, then I see one there, then one there, then one there. I mean, all the way out. So we are gonna take some drone footage to show you guys from above. It's a little more obvious that way. And we're gonna walk to a few more of these.
And hopefully I don't drive into one of them, because I don't think we're prepared for that.
That is a good thing to note. We are here with a 4-wheel drive vehicle, and you definitely want one of those if you want to come out here so you don't get yourself stuck.
Yeah, this ground is very sandy, and you would easily get yourself stuck with anything less.
But that is why they came here, because the volcanic environment, the geologic composition here made it way more suitable for practicing being on the moon than a lot of other places.
Cinder Lake Crater Field number 2 was created with several sets of explosions designed to overlap to simulate lunar craters of different ages. 354 to create the oldest, 61 intermediate, and 11 new. This required 1,153 pounds of dynamite, 28,650 pounds of nitrocarbonitrate, and 40,000 feet of primacord to create.
Well, gravity is a little stronger here, but it's neat to imagine walking in the footsteps of our former astronauts who walked on the moon. How awesome is that? So all the craters we mentioned are different sizes, so they can practice, with different sized craters. And imagine them out here with their model of the Lunar Rover in simulated space suits, practicing different techniques for soil sampling, for identification of geologic formations, or just everything that they would need to know, because most astronauts were pilots and engineers. They weren't geologists, so they had to come out here and learn everything and prepare for their mission.
Boondocking in the Cinder Lake OHV area was one of the more unique places we've stayed. We had a large area all to ourselves. Though quite a bit of off-road vehicle traffic passes through the area, we were further off the road and it didn't bother us. The black volcanic cinder field was striking, with views of both the cinder cones and the snow-covered mountains making this a beautiful spot. Lowell Observatory sits high on the hillside which Flagstaff locals have referred to as Mars Hill, from which you can get a great view of the city. It was here that Pluto was discovered using the Pluto Discovery Telescope. Percival Lowell first theorized of its existence, searched but could not find it, and it was Clyde Tombaugh that finally discovered it on February 18, 1930, using a new technique.
So there's not currently much to see up at Lowell Observatory because they are restricting visitors to reservation only. So no general admission at the moment, but I did call and see if we could just drive through the lot and see what we could see, which wasn't much, but we showed you a couple of shots from driving up the hill, and you can see the Clark telescope. We would love to do a tour up there at some point. It just didn't work out for us right now. In the future, we will look for observatory tours like that here or elsewhere.
Definitely stop at the Flagstaff Visitor Center for information and to see the mural by Navajo artist Red Wing Ted Nez, which commemorated Arizona's centennial in 2012, depicting 100 years of Flagstaff history. The Visitor Center is also on historic Route 66.
So Flagstaff sits at about 7,000 feet. And like we said earlier, Route 66 comes through here, and it's the highest point on Route 66 that goes through a city. The actual total highest point of Route 66 is going across the Continental Divide in New Mexico at 7,263 feet.
The Visitor Center is located in the historic downtown Santa Fe passenger train depot, now also home to the Amtrak passenger station. The best part, of course, was watching a train go by.
All right, you guys gonna wave?
Historic downtown Flagstaff is easy to walk around with historic buildings, architecture, restaurants, and shops. Heritage Square is in the heart of the historic downtown and is a place for people to gather. There are shops and restaurants all around, seating, and an outdoor amphitheater. The Orpheum Theater dates from 1917 and continues to house performances and features the mural Sound of Flight on its outside.
So these mountains from left to right are Agassiz, Humphreys, Fremont, and Doyle. And Humphreys apparently is the tallest mountain peak in Arizona. So it's pretty neat. From our boondocking spot, we can see both the mountain range and cinder cones. And if you look this way, there it is. Sunset Crater is 1,000 feet high. We're not going to climb to the top of it today. There are no paths leading to the top, but we are going to climb to the top of Lenox Cinder Cone. Might be that one, we're not sure. I might be pointing totally wrong direction, but we're gonna climb to the top of something. Let's go. So we're starting off on the Trail. This trail is only 0.2 miles. It's a little loop through the lava field. The name of the trail is Hawaiian for stony rough lava. So we're gonna go through part of the Bonito lava flow out here, and it looks pretty rough and jagged. Getting down into this It's neat to see how tall some of this lava flow is piled. Just imagining what this would have been like when the lava was actually flowing and just how it cooled into all of these crazy shapes. This is the best little hike. Totally recommend it. Short and easy, but really scenic.
So I'm used to seeing the lava flows up in the Pacific Northwest. I grew up out there and there's lots of them. There's tons to see. This is just as good. It's really neat. Literally right across the street from that last trailhead is the Lenox Crater Trailhead, and that's where we're headed today.
This is the volcano we're gonna climb. Lenox Crater, 1.6 mile loop. I'm excited to get to the top.
Let's do it. There are a ton of different cinder cones here, and one thing we're finding is really striking is how some of them have lots of trees and vegetation going all the way up to the top of it, and then you have ones that are like completely bare. And that's why we're hiking up the trail that we're on right here, is because they don't actually allow you to go up Sunset Crater because they said the surface of that one is easily scarred. It looks like it's starting to open up over here.
Windy!
We made it to the top.
We are here at the top of Lenox Crater and we are standing right on the edge. So we are along the edge of the top of the crater. The edge kind of rolls off down into this depression here, and that is where the lava used to spew.
Every single mountain around here is some kind of volcano. Way up on the left side over here is Mount Eldon. It was a dome volcano, and now you can kind of see where the side of it's all blown out.
And behind you guys, on the other side, that's where Sunset Crater is. In fact, Sunset Crater apparently is like baby volcano compared to this one, which formed way sooner, and it used to be a lot deeper. Sunset Crater erupted in the more recent past, and it covered Lenox Crater in additional layers. So the depression back here is not as deep as it was following its eruption. It's really neat.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know all that. Christine read all the signs and I just walked around. So.
Although I have to admit, you know, sometimes I get to the point where we're going to tell you guys about it and I'm like, what did I read? And I try to remember it and it, you know, just goes.
So at that point we just make things up.
Well, if I ever misspeak, know that it's not intentional. It's probably because as I'm reading these signs, half my brain is reading and trying to concentrate, and my other half of my brain is like, where are my children? Are they safe?
Are they about to fall into a volcano?
Right. So it's very interesting. We hope you think so too. Now we're going to walk along the rest of the edge of Lenox Crater and back down where we will get a closer view of Sunset Crater. Great view of Sunset Crater here as we're headed down the Lenox Crater Trail. We're a little below it. It's pretty tall, but the only way that you can see into the Sunset Crater is by hiking another trail much longer. We'll have to look it up and then I'll put it down below. We thought originally that it was called Sunset Crater because maybe seeing the sunset from here, you'd be odd, but apparently John Wesley Powell saw Sunset Crater and the beautiful, striking, reddish, coppery, bronzy color at the top. And that's a little bit different than some of the other ones you see around here. Therefore, Sunset Crater.
We've had really great views of Sunset Crater all the way down the backside of this trail. Now we can actually see the parking lot for getting to the base of it, and that is where we're headed next, so we'll see you there. Thanks for joining us in our time around Flagstaff and at Sunset Crater.
We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we hope to see you on the next adventure.
See you then.
Bye! If you like our content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified the next time we release a travel video. See you soon! This sign and I'll, point
Okay.
to the lava.
Already recording.
Okay. All right, little man is getting a little high. Let's go grab him. Let's go, kids. Who's gonna fly up the trail with me?
Clara, what's it smell like?
Syrup.
Why do you think it smells like syrup?
I think she's got the wrong woods. She's thinking northeast.
Maple?
Yeah. But Sunset Crater erupted in the more recent future. Try it again. You see the sunset from here and are at wow.
Wow.
Odd. I was gonna say odd and wowed, and it was like wad.
Wad.